guys, it's Jake here with another collection video. Hope everyone is doing well today. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of my very favorite, I think I say that in every video because I love to collect so many different types of Pokemon cards and eras of Pokemon cards, and as you guys will see from my collection, I have every era of cards, or certain cards from every era collected, my favorite cards. So in this video, we're going to look at some of the oldest cards in the hobby from around sort of the 1996 era of Pokemon, when Pokemon was first coming out in Japan. And the cards we're going to look at today are all going to be cards that are not part of the TCG. And they're all these sort of like full art, we could say, holofoily prism type cards. And then we're going to go into some of just the regular Topsun and 1997 Cardass cards, which are two of my favorite sets from this era. So just to quickly go over and just kind of take a look at the art on some of these. Love these cards. These were all cards that I just picked up kind of slowly over time off of places like PWCC, just when I saw an auction that I felt was like really good price. As you can see, I kind of have grades that are a little bit all over the place. One thing I really love about these cards is they look great in lower condition, generally speaking, unless they have like a huge obvious crease, which none of these do. But even some of these like threes, like, you know, look really nice. We just have, you know, slight bits of dirt and little bits of, you know, bending and damage on the corners, as you can see. But I think overall, these actually hide damage really nicely. And the prism cards still look awesome. So a lot of these, when I was buying some of these very low graded ones, I was just able to get really good deals on them, and I just think that they're really worth it. And in some of these I graded myself. My one PSA 10 version, Dragonite, probably arguably my favorite Pokemon, although I feel like it changes. Between Dragonite, Gyarados, Alakazam, definitely three of my probably favorites. A couple of Mewtwo's. These cards are cards that are not talked a lot about and seen because PSA has never graded them. And they have the same type of prism effect. And as you can see there, they're 1997 Topsun Versus. And they have that Game Boy. This one's particularly cool, obviously, because it's Charizard and Blastoise on the same card. Just a card that nobody really talks about. You don't see out there. I never see listings for them. Picked up that one and the Venusaur. They just sort of came up on auction one day for a really affordable price, and I went for it. I also like these 1996 Bandai cards. I don't like them as much as the other two sets, but that's just a purely sort of subjective thing. I do think they're cool and have a cool hollow pattern. Something about the Monster Cardass from 1997 are definitely my favorite, and the Topsun just to me have more of a clean kind of vintage look to them. Even as is the hot topic right now, even if they are not older, which you know, this idea that Topsun is probably the first ever printed set is very, very likely not true. Although no one knows for sure what was the first ever Pokemon cards. Certainly Topsun was one of the first ever sets released and among the first probably 3 or 4. Just as a lot of these, just as, you know, Monster Cardass and these Bandai cards were some of the early sets too. But I'm not going to join in on that discussion. Either way, they're all really great looking cards. But the Monster Cardass, these 1997 cards, as you can see, I will have more of these, are my favorite. Love these prism cards. We'll take our time and move back and forth here so we can look at them a little bit. The Charizard, such a cool card. The Blastoise, again, I think just awesome. We won't go through every single card, but you can see Clefairy and Scyther. The Eevee. Eevee is like the only one that I don't really like that much. It's still Eevee, and I love Eevee, so it's still cool. But like every other one, I think is just awesome. And I don't know, Eevee is kind of ugly looking for me personally. But every other one I just think is amazing. I guess I'll head down to that side. Well, first let's finish them up here. As you can see, I definitely wanted to grab a couple of these 10s in Dragonite because, again, Dragonite is my favorite one, and I just love the colors on this card. Such a unique Dragonite card for me. And the Mewtwo is fantastic. Graded a lot of these myself, and it's just very difficult to get the 10s. I was always searching for raw mint cards and just always struggled to find them. Always really like Articuno. We've got some of the birds over here, a couple Moltres. Then I made a video on these Meiji cards. I can quickly go over them again here, but most people who've watched the channel have already seen these. Definitely very cool cards, in my opinion at least. And then we have these 2000, the gold ones, the gold foil cards. Have a few of them. A couple of Lugia, because Lugia is my favorite. From that era. And then the silver from 2001, this one. The silver from 2000. And then I really like the way the blue ones look myself, and you can see that they have texture. I think they're cool. Not as much, not as great for me compared to these like Prism cards from the Monster Cardass. They're just my favorite ones, but I do really like them also. And then I wanted to show you guys, I just pulled on the table before we go through most of the bulk cards from the set. I pulled on the table just some of the starters so you guys can see what they look like out on the table. And you can compare the Topsun design versus the kind of more fun and creative Cardass design. I like both a lot. I do like sort of the plain, kind of normal or typical non-action pose cards on Topsun, and then I also really like the action posed Cardass versions. So I have a number of the starters there. Take a peek at the War Turtle. And then I pulled out, always got to have a bunch of Gyarados because I like Gyarados. And a few of the Eevee cards and Evolution cards here towards the bottom. Big fan of Vaporeon, so I bought a few of those. This was actually a pretty recent grade, the Snorlax. I was happy I was able to finally get it in 10. It had been very hard for me to find that card in 10, and I really like Snorlax, so I wanted to find that. And then we can just quickly take a look here. So this is all Topsun cards, mostly 10s and 9s of just like a little bit of the less popular Pokemon, some green back, some blue back. Cards that I really wanted to complete this set and have all of them in at least 10 or 9 in both green and blue, and I was always looking for no numbered. I won't bore you too much with these because, but just to get a sense of how I collect and invest. Always trying to pick these types of cards up on just at good prices. You know, got a few of these no numbers in here. One of my favorite Pokemon, Arcanine. I think you guys sort of get the point. And then this one we have some more Topsun on this side. This is all Topsun. And some no numbers in there. And then we have what I think are more interesting cards to look at are the Monster Cardass cards. And, you know, they just have really unique, every one of them has like really unique, interesting art. And a number of them, Sidek is always getting picked on. A lot of the early Japanese cards love to pick on Sidek. So a lot of them in really cool action poses. Very playful. Multiple Pokemon on lots of them. This is a set that I really encourage people who love Pokemon and love these old styles to really try and collect this entire set. I think it's an amazing set to collect, and of course I like to try and collect these cards in higher grade because it's just more enjoyable for me, the chase of it. But I also, as I'll show you guys, have a binder set, which is my first goal. And you can still definitely collect this whole set in lower, you know, in a lower condition and put it in a binder, and it looks amazing. So quickly, just before we end the video, so there's a bunch of spaces in my Topsun area of the binder because I've been pulling cards out and grading them. I probably should grade this card, this Blueback Charizard. I probably will. I know they're going for so much. This is probably like an 8-ish. I usually don't grade cards that are below 9s, but sometimes the value just pulls these cards out of my binders. And then I'm just going to be patient is my strategy and slowly fill these back in over time. I do have a number of these cards in storage away from me right now, so I'm sure that I have a number of them to fill back in, but I know some of them I do not. I tend not to have too many of the more popular Pokemon in Blueback in storage. These cards are must-shows. These are my only 2 copies of these, so I am tempted to just keep them in the binder because they're just so hard to find and they're so expensive. But I do also want copies graded, so going kind of back and forth on what to do about that. But as you can see, that first one's my favorite, but this one's great too. And do have the complete set outside of the Charizard, which I just sent in. And I think the Mewtwo, which I sent in because I thought it would get a 10, and it came back a 9, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes at PSA sometimes. The rest of this binder, I'm probably going to keep intact. You know, just all of these are such cool cards in my opinion. I don't want to bore you guys and go too slow, but I bet for some of you I'm going way too fast. Such cool card. I really like this Dragonite. I do have it in, I think, 10 somewhere in there. Or somewhere else, I'm not sure. But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in today. Just taking a look at this brief overview of what I've been able to collect it over the past few years. Again, it's just patience, hard work, and definitely really enjoying these cards and just constantly sort of being on the lookout for them when they fall into your budget. I don't know what I know a lot of these cards have become extremely expensive, and I certainly wouldn't, for the same amount of money, be able to put a collection like this together now. But I do, if you're planning on being Pokemon, into the Pokemon card collecting community for the next 20, 30, 40 years, it's certainly going to be very possible to slowly put together collections like this. Just take your time, go for lower grades, start with binder sets, all that sort of thing, and most importantly, just have fun with it. It's way more about the journey of putting a collection together like this than actually arriving at it. I have so many great memories from picking these up and tracking them down and meeting those collection goals. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it and showing you these great cards. And I will have another video for you all. Probably not another one this week before the live on Sunday, but definitely we'll be back with more videos next week. And thanks again for tuning in. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more. All right, take care.